I don't think I'm gonna make it, Earl. You're gonna have to find a new host for the review series. Just don't let it be that proud asshole. Ugh. Oh man, fuck dying. We got new Season 3 anime info to speculate on. In case you missed it, to celebrate Rentero's birthday back on May 1st, the anime released the next update regarding Season 3 with a now confirmed release date of July 5th. Which is cool and all, don't get me wrong, even if it is messing with my schedule, as that is also the last date of Anime Expo in Los Angeles, which I will be attending this year in case anyone watching here is too. So if you see a Rowlet and a Top Hat scouring the convention floor looking for Chain Soldier cosplayers to take pictures with, feel free to say hi. So yeah, because I'll be out in LA and not home for the premiere, my reaction video for the first episode might be a bit late, depending on how tired I am from the aforementioned photo hunt. Fun side note, the council and I submitted to host the 100 Girlfriends panel at Anime Expo this year, but we didn't get accepted. Personally, I blame Red.
Why me?
Sex file.
Alright, 100 Girlfriends, back on topic. It's cool we got the release date, hopefully that means a full trailer is on the horizon, but we need to talk about this. What are you even doing here, Kishka? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll always be happy to see my girl, anytime, but does this mean we are somehow getting all the way to Kishka in Season 3? Also, why is Kishka placed before Yaku in this poster? So many questions and not enough answers. Also, I like the cheekiness of the anime team hiding Yaku here. Guess we are keeping up the tradition of one hitting girlfriend a season. Oh, spoilers if you are anime only. Also, if you are anime only, what are you doing on my video? Shoot! Oh, actually, wait, no, hold on. Stick for the view and hopefully like and subscribe. But there do be spoilers in this video and every one of my videos, oh well, I'm not your mother. Keep on watching if you want. Back to Kishka. I think the safest bet here is that Kishka is placed before Yaku because it looks better aesthetically to have the hidden girlfriend at the end of this lineup, so it's not really a sign of them rearranging the girlfriend introductions. So the real story here is my long Season 3 prediction video being thrown completely out the window because of a single art visual? Possibly.
Kobe!
We do have now a couple of new options given this new information. Option 1, they are cutting a lot more chapters than we think in order to reach Kishka by the end of the season. Which, as much as we don't like to admit, when it comes to the series, anything that isn't introducing a new girlfriend to Rentero or meeting the family can be considered filler. So I wouldn't be surprised if the anime team has more of a focus on getting as many girlfriends in a single season as possible because of the premise and draw of the show being constantly adding girlfriends, and then just fill in the rest of the season with whatever chapters they want as literal filler. Option 2, my personal hope, that this is a tease of a second core like I mentioned in my video, as there seems to be a new rising trend in anime that some are getting multi-season renewals that get worked on almost simultaneously, so they end up releasing the following season within less than a year. You and I are polar opposites being the biggest example, getting both Season 1 and 2 this year. Half the reason why I think this new visual is teasing this possibility is because, look at it, with all those hearts on everyone's faces, just like Akko stylizes herself with. Oh, hey, Moon from the future here. Based on a recent post by Nozawa that she took the time to put out while taking care of her new child, it seems like this Season 3 visual might be a callback to an old Valentine's Day artwork that she did a long time ago. Though that may be the case, the original doesn't have the hearts on everyone's faces, so I'm still gonna believe it's an Akko tease. Back to the video. Option number 3. There's also a possibility that this season might be longer than the usual 12-episode season standard fare that most anime get. With the inclusion of Kishka on the poster, if the season were to be slightly expanded to be 14 to 16 episodes like some seasons randomly get, we could easily get to Kishka and end somewhere a little after her inclusion. While it may not be the second core like I hoped and predicted, I would happily take this option because even getting an extended season is a good sign the anime is doing well and they want to continue supporting it. Thankfully for both this and option number 1, we probably don't have to wait too much longer to find out. Information regarding how many episodes are in an upcoming season tend to come out before the season airs. Speaking of supporting it, let's get back to my job of supporting the series by going over the latest chapter. I'm Lumai150, and this is my overview of the latest 100 Girlfriends manga chapter, chapter 247, The Literature Girl's Strong and Cool Friend. As always, I won't be going over everything in the chapter, so you can go read it for yourself to support the scanlators by checking out the hard work that everyone over at Sunday does for bringing us these chapters, as well as 7Cs because they got another volume coming out soon. Yay. Well, at least I'll have some streaming material soon. Now, onto the chapter. Shizuka and Kimari are off to have a day
At the library!
by taking the same train that Rentaro met Era on, apparently. Must be the only train in and out of town. They are off to the Hondarake Town Library, a pretty renowned library to bookworms everywhere. Someplace the both of them have wanted to go for a while but never went to because apparently it's quite the long day trip and they both didn't want to go alone. But now these previously loner bookworms have fellow bookworms to travel with. So why wasn't Mai going with them as well? Guess there wasn't enough yaoi or yuri at this library to interest her. After taking in the view of the wonder that is the Hondarake Town Library, our favorite bookworms get to work scouring the aisles, only for Shizuka to get so excited that she accidentally raises the volume on her phone when she next calls out to Kimari, causing quite the racket. Or maybe it wasn't really, since we never see anyone else react to it. Though this blatant disregard to the societal norms of keeping quiet in the library gets Kimari in her typical tizzy. Man, she really is the kind of girl who'd find it hot to do it in the back corner of the library, isn't she? Probably back in like the self-help section, ironically enough. After that stint, it seems members of the Rentaro family can't help but attract drama, as we have 2 instances alone in one chapter. First with an old man who decides to yoink a book that Shizuka was planning on checking out, claiming that since the book was left on library property, that anyone is free to grab it. Even though it was clearly in a stack of other books sitting right next to Shizuka, Guy is clearly just an asshole instead of an old man having a misunderstanding. Thankfully, Kimari came out just in time to scare him off by provoking the rules of the library from contacting officials. And Karma is quick to serve justice as our favorite security guard, who apparently lost his job at the mall and is now working at a library in another town, scares him off even further. Immediately following that on the train back home, just as Kimari recollects about some of her bullying from high school from not having any friends, who shows up but the very same bully she was thinking about. What are even the odds? And as Bowling for Soup so famously put it, high school never ends. High school never ends. And they pick up right where they left off in mocking Kimari because apparently their high school reunion was happening and she wasn't invited due to the very fact that she didn't have any friends to invite her. God damn, these girls reek of peaked in high school energy. But now it's Shizuka's turn to stand up for Kimari, and just as she was about to politely ask to leave her friend alone, a freak sudden stop from the subway causes Shizuka to hit them with the silence! Okay, well not exactly that, but the misinput of her fingers from her book has her go on a long speech about making them beg for forgiveness for the peons that they are. And instead of apologizing, Shizuka decides, you know what, I liked telling them off, and has herself and Kimari get off at the next station to avoid more of the confrontations with the high school bullies, where Kimari proceeds to thank and compliment Shizuka on how strong and cool she was. Oh, I get the name of the chapter now. To wrap up the chapter of awkward confrontations, the sudden jumping off the train at the wrong station has them needing to wait for the next train to come by, but being the bookworms that they are, some extra waiting is no problem as long as they got a book to read. So, I honestly don't know how to feel about this chapter. Now before you start attacking me in the comments, especially you rabid Shizuka fans, I think my problem with this chapter is that it kind of feels like a nothing burger of a chapter. While writing this review, I did realize and appreciate the 2 sides of the same coin situation that they both encountered. First with Shizuka dealing with not standing up for herself, and Kimari coming to her rescue, kind of symbolic with Kimari having a better handle on situations of the present, whereas in the other encounter, Kimari struggles with dealing when confronted with the demons of her past, something Shizuka has a better grasp on handling. Okay, that sounded better in my head, maybe the analogy isn't the strongest, but there's something there. I saw some people criticize that this might be some regression for Shizuka given the progress she has made in the series, particularly with dealing with her mother. But that's the thing, she has overcome dealing with her mother. Just because you get over one trauma doesn't mean you get over all of them. Especially for a character like Shizuka, who has a lot. I think the fact that Shizuka didn't succumb to embarrassment and anxiety and not apologizing profusely, and instead saying, you know what, these two, I'm sticking with what I said, and took off without any explanation, kind of like a mic drop, and hopped off the train after giving them the literature version of a middle finger. It shows some growth for her, whereas Shizuka of the past would have cried and apologized. I almost wanted to say it almost felt like a regression for Kimari instead. Firstly, let's not even talk about the fact how easily her little horny fluster kind of just came and went. That felt more like Nakamura just shoving it in there because that's the comedy of the character, so it had to be included out of obligation. But to see Kimari collapse so easily just from the appearance of her old high school bullies? I guess those scars just run deep.
Run away.
I think my biggest issue is that this chapter kind of feels out of place or late in the timeline. Let me explain. You know how in every volume we have a pattern? It starts with the introduction of a new girlfriend, which is followed by the meet the family, then a flirty daily life chapter that involves the newest girlfriend, and then a focused chapter about the new girlfriend where we get some development of them, and usually try to connect and bond them with a previous girlfriend. This feels like the Kimari focus chapter that would have happened following her introduction, but instead we got the one with Usa-chan back in 216. It has all the trademarks of a new girlfriend focused chapter. No Rentaro involved, pairs them up with an older girlfriend, we find out more about the character like a new trait, this one being that she is also an avid book reader and maybe get some backstory, all of which happened in this chapter. This almost feels like following Kimari's introduction, Nakamura came up with both of these stories involving Kimari, the Usa-chan one back in 216, and this one, and he chose to do the Usa-chan one following her introduction, which, smart move Nakamura, that was a stellar chapter. But he still had this chapter's story lingering in his mind and decided to do it now. The Kimari we see in this chapter feels more like the Kimari we got right after her introduction, instead of the Kimari we now have 4 volumes later. Wow, has it really been 4 volumes already since Kimari? Damn. I feel like the Kimari of now would have handled the situation better. Sure, she would have been shaken because we all collapsed when dealing with the demons of our past, but maybe after Shizuka tells them off, Kimari would have snapped back and instead stand up for herself by saying stuff like, "Yeah, I wasn't invited because I didn't have any friends in high school, but I don't care now. I now have a lot of amazing friends and I even have a boyfriend whom I love and he loves me back. I am happier now than I have ever been." Hell, if Rentaro had proposed sometime between Kimari being introduced and now, she could have even added, "I'm also happily engaged." Oh right, I'm supposed to be angry about that. I forgot. Hold on.
Why hasn't Rentaro proposed to anyone beyond Saki yet?
Back to my point. Nothing fights back against your bullies than you being happy and content with your life. Especially high school bullies who are still trying to relive those glory days where your best days are still ahead of you. Be sure to remember that the next time you find yourself in a similar situation.
Live your life.
But I see why Nakamura didn't go for something like that. This chapter was supposed to be a reflection, where both girls have similar backstories, and they both ended up sticking up for one another in various situations that the other couldn't personally handle by having each other's backs. In the end, I feel mixed on this chapter. I don't hate it, far from it. Maybe it'll get better with age like some other chapters, but at the moment it does feel like there are some missed opportunities for the Shizuka character. But especially the Kimari character. Okay, enough with the negativity. Let's also mention some positivity real quick. The off-camera comedy in this chapter was hilarious, and it makes me sad that this chapter may never be animated because it fits so well for animation. With the security guard and old man going at in the background as Shizuka and Kimari have a casual chat, or even the clumsy train conductor just offhandedly calling himself a clumsy train conductor over the intercom to the passengers. It's such a different comedy direction that I don't think we have seen much of, if at all, in this series, and I'm a big fan of it. If this is Nakamura experimenting, I'm all for it. And great job to Sunday for their work on it. Wow, okay, that was definitely a chapter I needed to sit on before making this video. I'm glad it's a break week, because at first I really had nothing to talk about, and that's why this video is so late. But after a few days and a couple more rereads, turns out I had a lot more thoughts than I originally thought. But let's wrap this up. It's Golden Week in Japan, so the magazine 100 Girlfriends is published and isn't going to be putting out a new chapter. Or at least it was Golden Week, it might be over by the time this video is out. But next week we are back with the spin-off manga yet again, this time with Karane's parents and Iku's siblings. You know, as much as I am liking getting backstories to these characters, I am really starting to miss the flow of the mainline series chapters. I'm just itching for a new girlfriend already.
Phrasing?
I hope this back and forth between the spin-off and the mainline series is only temporary, until Nozawa is back in full swing. I've been Moonlight150, and I will see you all next week with that spin-off chapter yet again, and see what rabbit holes I can find in the lore. And to see me lose my sanity, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see when that video goes live. Happy Golden Week.